Hi everyone, welcome back to Small Business Live today with me, Vicky Canham. Today we're going to be talking to Madelyn Furlong, who is a marketing strategist specializing in supporting bricks and mortar businesses. So I'm just going to add her in and then we can get started. I hope you're all having a really great day. It's nice and warm here for a change, so it's started. Just added it. Okay, here we go. Hi Madelyn, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
How are you?
Good, how about you?
I'm good. Thank you. What's, like I said, I was going to ask about the weather. What's the weather like in Alabama?
You know, it is dreary, it is rainy and muggy. We're actually supposed to have a bunch of storms later today, so there's a risk of tornadoes, so always keeping us on our toes. Yeah.
Wow. Is it? I didn't realize it was tornado season so early.
Well, normally it's in the spring, like earlier in the spring, but we're supposed to have a cold front coming through, so I think that's what's making the air kind of unstable. So hopefully it'll not be as bad as they're saying, but always makes me a little nervous.
Yeah, it made me nervous too. I know nothing about that kind of weather system. So we've just got sunshine. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon here in the UK, so it's nice and sunny and for a change.
That's good. That's good.
So Madelyn, do you want to start by telling us about your business?
Yeah, sure. So I am Madelyn Furlong. I'm the owner of Madelyn Victoria Co. I'm a marketing strategist, so I help small businesses create a marketing strategy, and then I work with them to attract more customers and increase profit while making a local impact.
And you specialize in bricks and mortar businesses?
Yeah, primarily. Now, some of my clients are online, but I would say the majority are brick and mortar.
Okay. So how do you do that? Do you go into the business, or do you do all as online support for a bricks and mortar business?
It's kind of whatever they feel most comfortable with. So a lot of my clients are local. So we just, get a cup of coffee at the local coffee shop, or, I'll go to their store and we just meet. But I do offer, meetings on Zoom or phone calls if they prefer. So it's really whatever works best for both of our schedules and time and things like that.
Okay, and I noticed that you were a social media manager, and now you run your own business. So what motivated you to start your own business?
So it's kind of a funny story. I had never planned to start my own business. I grew up with an entrepreneur dad. He had his own business, and I mean, I thought it was cool, but I also saw how much work went into that. So I really never planned on doing it, but looking back, there were always signs that this was my path. Like I would always come up with my own businesses as a kid, and when I was in high school and college, I started social media managing for a few people, and I was like, well, that's just a side business. That's not something I'm gonna do long term. My degree was in English, but in college, but I had a marketing internship, and I thought, I really like this. It just makes sense in my mind. I enjoy coming up with strategies. And so when I graduated college, I still had that social media management business. And I decided to take a couple of part-time jobs just so I could kind of see where, that social media management hustle would go. And I was actually, growing that business, doing well. And a lot of my clients asked me more generalized marketing questions. And so they said, well, can you offer support when it comes to, just general marketing? So, email marketing, social media too, but SEO, things like that. And so I started thinking, well, maybe I should, listen to my clients and give them, more of a general overview. And so that's when I kind of switched and became a marketing strategist. And again, like never intended to have my own business, but I actually fell in love with like being able to control my own schedule. And, there's no ceiling to how much you can do or make. There's no floor either, which can be a little scary, but I love the challenge. I think it's really fun, and I love being able to just connect with my clients and get to to talk with them. So long story short, that's how I became a marketing strategist.
Yeah. How did you choose bricks and mortar businesses over online
Um,
businesses?
so really, it was just the types of customers that came to me. I wouldn't say there's like a special answer or like interesting answer, but that was just the majority of who I worked with. I actually One of the part-time jobs that I had when I was a social media manager only was working in a bookstore in our downtown area, and so I think I was just around that and I was in that environment so much that I kind of was able to observe firsthand, working in that, what worked best for brick and mortars. And I don't know, I kind of fell in love with it. But again, I still do online, but yeah, the majority is definitely brick and mortar.
Okay. And then what is the overview of the products that you or services that you offer to these
Yeah.
businesses?
Yeah, so I offer really three main services. The first is a online course. I call it Local Market Mastery, and that is more of a at your own pace type thing. So I give you, sort of an overview, and of course you have homework, you have videos, but you are the one basically in charge of customizing that to your business. And a lot of people like this because, again, it is at your own pace. And, a lot of businesses, they're busy. So they kind of like to take their time with it and progress like whenever they have time. And then the second offer that I have, and this one's really popular, this is my one-on-one strategic marketing coaching. So this is where I sit down, or in person or over Zoom, with a client, and I come up with a marketing strategy for them. We work through it. I ask them a bunch of questions, and then once we have that plan, we work on executing it. So it's all very custom and specific to their business. And it's a minimum of 3 months just so we can make sure that we're seeing results. I found that kind of time, or that amount of time, really, helps people, like, just give them a boost. And so that's my favorite offering. It's really neat to work alongside of them and see progress. And then my third thing that I offer is I still do social media management. So if a business wants all their social media done for them so they don't have to worry about it, I create a content calendar, write out the captions, manage comments, things like that. So those are my three offerings.
Right. Um, I could see how it works for both online and offline. So
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it's marketing is a really fascinating area of how you can really niche it according to the types of business that you're working with.
Oh, for sure.
So do you have any projects or offerings coming up at the moment that you're particularly excited about?
Yeah, so there may or may not be a podcast coming later this year. I won't say too much about it, but something that I've been wanting to do and playing around with for a while. So working on that a little bit behind the scenes. And then the other project that I am kind of undertaking is just working on revamping my one-on-one strategic marketing coaching. So I'm taking feedback from past clients and just incorporating more of what they have suggested. Now, some people have asked for more done for you things. So I made a social media content calendar for them, and they can customize it the way that they want, but then they have that like groundwork to you know just have. And then I think just working on, again, listening to what they want. So one-on-one coaching, I already mentioned this, but it just gets me really excited because I get to learn about their business and really see their progress. So just figuring out week by week what that kind of looks like, and figuring out how that can help them even more.
So within bricks and mortar business, are the metrics different? Because I know when we're online, we can go and look at things like Uber Suggest or SEMrush and Google Analytics, but how is it different for a bricks and mortar business?
That's a great question. A lot of it, so online is still a big part of it. I still push social media because, um, if people aren't walking around, so a lot of the businesses that I work with are in downtown. So if people aren't walking around in downtown, then they might, forget the business existed. So I, push social media and email marketing a lot to just remind them, or to remind people like, hey, this building, this business exists. Like, you can shop online. They're having an event, come by, see it. But I think a big part of working with brick and mortar businesses is just through community events. So a lot of my businesses are involved in the community, and I've just seen like how those metrics, like when they're involved, they just skyrocket. Our town is really fun. They have like Christmas events and fall events, and so a lot of the businesses that I work with, they decorate their store like really cute, and they promote it like constantly on social media and through email, and they're very much a part of the community, and because of that, like they have that community support, but then they also have people on the grounds, like excited about visiting their shop.
Great. It's quite exciting, and I assume in Alabama, wherever you are, you're going to have events around the universities and the football. So you're going to have
Yes.
Roll Tide and Auburn versus Alabama State. So yeah.
Yes, exactly. Roll Tide.
Okay, so that answers that question.
Yeah.
Which side you're on there? Okay.
I came from a split family. So my dad was an Alabama fan. My mom is an Auburn fan. And then one of my sisters is an Auburn fan. And then my youngest sister does not care. She chooses no side. She's not, she doesn't care at all. So it was very interesting with the Iron Bowl. We'll leave it at that. But
I can imagine it would be a difficult situation. It might be time to go and watch it from another state.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so Madelyn, if you had to start your business all over again, what's one thing that you wish somebody had told you?
I think that I would tell myself, if I had to start it all over again, is just to stay determined, because a lot of times you're going to feel like you're pushing a boulder up a hill and you're making no progress, and but that just means that things are happening. You just might not see them. You have to work harder than you've ever worked in your entire life, but you can't let the business control your life either. Like, you have to take time for yourself and for your family and remember what's important. I think I also just wish that I had a checklist of everything, like all the legal stuff, all the accounting, just like setting up a business. A checklist would have been really nice, but maybe it's good that I didn't know this and had to figure it out along the way, because it probably would have overwhelmed me. So, yeah, I think I would just tell myself to just start, and then the pieces will fall into place as you go along.
Will they? No, I'm joking. No, they do. They do. It can be a painful learning.
Yes, yes. There were many times, yeah, where it was a little difficult. Thought about giving up, but just keeping those goals in your mind and like staying determined, I think helps a lot.
Yes. Sorry, I laugh. Yeah, it's a very difficult. I would say that it's the biggest piece of personal development you can do is run your own business. So it's
Absolutely.
definitely a growth process.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were talking to an aspiring small business, what advice would you give them, like before they leave their job to go off and start a business?
I would tell them, so I have two pieces of advice. The first is just to talk to people who know more about, the business than you do, because you're new at this. You might think you know it all. I kind of thought that I, knew more than I did, but thank goodness I talked to people like, that I respected, people, who knew so much about starting a small business. So make a list of questions, reach out to people that you trust and who are willing to talk to you about that. Even people that you may not know super well, you can just say, hey, like, I'm starting my own business. I respect you, and I would love to just get your opinion on some things and, learn from you. So, yeah, ask their experiences, their challenges, their tips, all that you can think of, and get a bunch of different perspectives. I was really fortunate. My uncle is an accountant, so he was able to, he graciously helped me set up, all the accounting side of things and even some of the legal stuff as well. And he helped me figure out QuickBooks, which I probably never would have learned if it wasn't for him. He was so patient with me. Um, and then, like, plus, like, getting advice from others is valuable in a you know with the community aspect as well, because it just shows you other people have done this, you're not alone, like, you can do this. And that encouragement is so imperative. A lot of times entrepreneurs, small businesses, they feel like they're isolated, so just being able to surround yourself with those people who will walk alongside of you is so valuable. So that's my first piece of advice. My second tip that I have is to make a plan. Now, I kind of laugh when I say this because I made a plan and it didn't, go according to how I wanted it to, but, that comes with being flexible. Business owners will learn that. But I think it is good, especially if you're considering leaving your job, your steady job, you need a plan. Write down, what I did was I wrote down quarterly goals. So, your quarterly goals might be like, leave, my job, get 3 new clients, make X amount of money. And then I like to tell people, like, I broke it into smaller steps and then even like smaller steps than that. So just, I guess, like, making it into bite-sized pieces. In fact, this is the same strategy that I used when I had to write my thesis in college. It was like 50 pages. And, at first you're like, how in the world am I supposed to write 50 pages? But you break it down. And so it's not as, overwhelming. And an example of, these steps would be, if your goal is leaving your job, then, okay, write the date in your calendar, save up however amount of money that you need, to kind of have as a cushion, and then make a strategy to get new clients. And then you break that into even tinier steps that you can do kind of on, the day to day. If another, goal you have is to get 3 new clients, then maybe what that looks like, breaking it down, is, starting an email list, creating a referral program, going to a networking event, once a month. So, yeah, those are my 2 tips. My biggest tips, I should say, is talk to people who know more than you and ask them questions, and then make a plan, but be flexible also, because problems will arise and you have to pivot and go with the flow.
Great tips. That with the plan, I think with the amount of money that you put on that plan, as you need to have before you leave, I would say whatever you think that number is, add a third. Yes. Add an extra third.
100% agree. Yes.
Yeah, it's that one. And then for the community thing, have you joined the masterminds, or have you set up your own community, or how do you go about that?
Yes. So I actually just joined a mastermind this morning. So that's for the next 9 months. And that is, just for me and my business. But as far as my clients, I kind of teach them how to go about finding community events, like networking events. We sit down and, we figure out best strategies for them. There are a lot of networking events in my community, surprisingly, actually, that I didn't know about before I started my own business. And so I think just, committing to that, signing up for it, it's really good. But yeah, we break it down. We look at, continuing education for them, or how that could help.
That's great. I think the community thing is, you can meet so many people who know so much more, or so much further along, that there's a lot of information there. So I think it's about going into it with a really open mind and and you know, taking what works and leaving what doesn't, rather than turning up and being like, no, these people can't help me kind of thing.
Oh, right.
So yeah.
Right. Well, and with networking events and community events, I'm a big introvert, and so that is very outside of my comfort zone. And a lot of my clients are actually the same way. And so I tell them, you know, have a goal when you go into these community events. You know, maybe it's talking to 3 people, and then you can go get a cup of coffee afterwards. And then I also tell them, you know, always follow up. So when you leave, write down their names, you know, maybe a fact about them that you learned at this event. So maybe they are, you know, putting on an event later that month. And so you make a note to follow up with them, ask them how the event went. And a tip that I have found that really works and that my clients have also said is helpful is sending a voice message. So on Instagram, it just makes it more personable and I guess like friendlier, but yeah, that's definitely kind of a little strategy that I have followed and my clients like as well.
It's a good tip. It's a good tip, staying in touch and making sure that you are following up so that you stay front of mind. But yeah, and checking in how their event went, showing them they care about them is great tips there, Madelyn. Thank you. And then I know that you have a free guide that you're giving out. Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so this is just now online businesses can use it too, but especially if you're a brick and mortar, it's going to be super helpful. It's just 3 tips to attract local customers literally right now. So you just, if you want it, just go to madelynvictoriaco.com/visibility and you can download it. It is chock full of tips, and then there's also a few free things in there that I threw in. But it'll be really helpful, especially if you're, you know, a brick and mortar business.
Great, thank you for that. And then final one, I'm going to put it into the show notes where people are watching this later on, they can find it. But where else can people find you? How can they look you up, get in touch and work with you?
So I'm on Instagram, of course, at Madelyn Victoria Co. And then, you know, besides the free guide, if you want extra support, you can sign up for my one-on-one strategic marketing coaching. So this has been, like I said, a game changer for my clients who are small business owners. A lot of times they just feel stuck or trapped in their business. So I come in, help them get unstuck and execute a marketing strategy that actually works for them. So if you want to learn more about that, you can just go to madelynvictoriaco.com/coaching, and it'll have all the information there, my contact info, and I'd love to just talk with you more about it and see how I can help.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. It's been great speaking to you and getting to know more about your business.
Thank you. I've enjoyed getting to talk to you.
And I hope you have a really great day since you're just starting out.
Thank you. You as well. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you very much. I'll speak to you soon.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.